America's first GenXers.
Poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats. Good afternoon. Welcome to the one and only First GenXers Studios. I am Dark Lord 100. That to my left or your right would be the one and only Rune Scryer. And the guy that's looking up at us right now, that's the guy with the master plan. He's the point man, the saint from now versus then. Welcome, gentlemen. We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. Here's where we're gonna start. Here's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start like we always talk about. We start hot. So one of the hottest subjects in pop culture right now is the Super Bowl halftime performance from last Sunday night. One Mr. Kendrick Lamar put on what I consider to be an epic halftime performance, filled with good music, dancing, as well as good music, dancing, as well as a message. There will be a lot of people on the internet um, that had issues with it, and that's part of the reason why we're talking about it. Because I saw a lot of this halftime show was trash. I was not entertained, etc. I'm gonna drop this little nugget, and then I'll let you guys get your word in. There have been multiple, and when I say multiple, I mean multiple Super Bowl halftime shows that I had zero interest in. I think George Strait did the halftime show. Tim McGraw did it one year. Huh? Yeah. Like, I'm like, there's been, yeah, it was presto. Like, but the one thing I never did was walk away from a halftime show and go, that was trash, simply because it wasn't a style or type of music that I liked or particularly cared for. Kid Rock. I was a Kid Rock fan, and I thought his halftime performance was trash. Like, I am a Kid Rock fan. I just didn't like the catalog that he chose to do, and he's always a little too over the top with the red, white, and blue stuff when it comes to his performances, and he really went over the top with it during that performance. So I will leave the floor to you, gentlemen, and say that I won't say that if you didn't like it, you didn't get it. I think there are a lot of people who got it. They just didn't like the message. Dave, go ahead and kick us off. Mhm. Right. Yeah. history. It's American history. Come
Yeah, I
on. Okay.
just saw something with Sajante saying no sound.
No, we got
Uh-oh.
sound. Sorry, Dave. Go on ahead and repeat that, bro. You guys
Okay.
were on. You got sound on me. You guys weren't unmuted. Go for it.
Okay. Um, but you know,
Take two.
I understood the lesson that was being laid down. And what amazed me was just how absolutely deep and multi-layered this was one of the best Super Bowl shows.
I thought he
Okay.
did an
You know
extremely good job.
that upper angle shot that you
Yeah,
had of the stage with the people in red, white, and blue dispersed out.
yeah. It was
That was actually Braille
really
spelling, spelling out Compton.
nice. I didn't know
Okay.
that.
That's how
Yeah,
many levels this goes
yeah.
in there. I mean,
Uh,
I mean, I am sorry if Samuel L. Jackson in Uncle Sam's suit telling Kendrick, "Don't be ghetto, don't get excited,
yeah.
don't sit down, behave." And all. I'm sorry if that was a little too subtle of a message for you people to understand. Okay.
Yeah. Like at least at minimum, you got to get the Samuel L. Jackson part.
Oh yeah,
Saint,
yeah. But
you
that's
go ahead.
you-
What, bro, you're on mute.
oh, now you're on mute. Yeah.
Now you muted yourself.
No,
This wasn't even my
no,
fault.
no, 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 no. Go ahead. No, no. Continue. Continue.
No, bro. Wait, yeah, Dave gave his
It's your
thoughts. Go
turn.
for it.
I'm good.
Go up. You're up.
We don't want the white boy dominating this conversation. Believe me.
What's up?
I
Y'all
even
got
I can see the
jokes.
bad optics of that.
Y'all
So
got jokes. Okay.
Hmm.
Look, in my eternal blackness, for whatever the reason is, let's look. We already knew for any of those out there that really looked at it, that really looked at what the message was saying. If if most people think it was just pure entertainment, or if you didn't see the message, or if you knew what it was going on, all you know what was going on, it went right over your head. It went right over your head. You
Like,
have to understand what the message was telling you and how it was being told.
yeah,
We knew right off the bat. We knew right off the bat when when Samuel L. Jackson revealed himself as Uncle Sam.
yep.
We already knew the fuckery was coming,
Oh
but
yeah.
we already knew it was in plain sight. You just had to plainly see it.
yep,
You just had to see it.
Now,
And most of us understood the assignment. Not
yeah.
some, not some,
yeah.
most of us.
Oh
hmm
Okay.
And as I commented to somebody, well, I you say, well, I didn't understand any of it. Well, it's too bad you're not walking around with a little piece of plastic circuitry and telecommunications that can access any information, anytime, anywhere in the world. You can understand this. You can take 10 minutes to Google and
yeah.
find dozens of articles explaining it out for you. You don't want to take the time to understand. And
Well,
that is one of the big things
and as
that we need to address.
and here's the way I said it. For a few days after the Super Bowl, I wrote this comment down multiple times in multiple different places. It's okay if you didn't get the message because the message wasn't for you. Those who the message were for got the message.
Hmm
Those who didn't, the message wasn't for you. Like a friend of the show, Jamil, said on his own Facebook page. He's like, odds are if you didn't get the message, you're the they and they not like
Yep.
us. And it's okay. Like it's not an insult. It's not a bad thing. It just that's where you stand. And so I tell people, I'm like, here was the whole thing. There were people out there that had an issue with it because they thought that the whole thing was about Drake. And I'm like, no. The only part that was about Drake was like the 2 minutes that he did Not Like Us. Like that he did the one verse for Not Like Us. That was about Drake. But the whole Super Bowl performance was not about Drake. Like it was definitely about something bigger. And all those who have followed Kendrick Lamar throughout his career and stuff like that, again, Nobel Prize winning artist for his
Pulitzer.
lyrics. Or Pulitzer
Pulitzer.
Prize, sorry, not Nobel.
Right.
Pulitzer Prize winning artist. And like so like there's gotta be some substance to what he's doing, or else he wouldn't have accolades like that.
Yeah.
And to think that he would walk into a Super Bowl show, for those of you who say, well, there probably wasn't any message in all that he was doing, and that y'all just want to see shit where there isn't shit, bro. Let's be real. Like you again, who Kendrick Lamar is alone tells you that there's a message to it because he doesn't do shit without a message. Every one of his songs on GNX, there was a message. You know what I'm saying? It's just baffling to me that people get so offended. You know what I'm saying? I've never been one to be offended when I'm watching something and I'm like, okay, that message just went over my head. My natural assumption at that point is then this wasn't for me. Like, it's not that I didn't like it. And then I take a whole different perspective when judging it. Then I take an outside perspective of, okay, I don't get it. So let me judge it if I'm going to judge it on its artistic quality, which was an A plus. I'm sorry, you can't. From the outfits to the positioning of every dancer to the positioning of the camera to where he positioned himself and came into frame, everything was done with purpose. Whether or not every one of those purposes was a message is something different, but everything was done with purpose. Like people talking about, oh dude, that was so cold when he looks directly into the camera and says, "Say Drake." Yeah, that was done on purpose. That was probably rehearsed like 5, 10 times till he got the timing on it exactly right. Like understand he is a creative mind, and creative minds don't just stop at let's put together a playlist and go out there and rap a lot. I'm not saying that yeah, I'm like look at Dre and M and Snoop and all of them at that one. Every song, every set had a purpose to the song that was being performed. Every set had a purpose to the song that was being performed.
Yeah.
Creative minds think like that. And that's
And
where we were blessed to get somebody like Kendrick Lamar because he was able to do it in a very creative way. Going to that,
and you know, brass tacks.
yeah,
This is a good chunk of this is about people who look like me not accepting anything that is not about them.
that isn't
A healthy
representative of
artistic quality.
them.
Okay? If it is not about a white male straight guy, they're not gonna
There is a
they're not
subset of the
yeah,
that they're not going to
yeah.
accept it. They're not going to
They're not
accept it
gonna
at all.
accept it. And it's just the times that we're living in that
Well, can I touch on that real quick and then
Yeah, yeah.
I'll let you go, Saint?
Go.
I think that's indicative of more than just that subset. I think that's indicative of a lot of society today. If what they're watching is not centered around them, they seem to not enjoy it.
Right.
And I think it's a quality that we had in our older in that Gen X area where we understood some things were not for us, and we didn't necessarily bitch and whine and complain as much. I'm not saying we didn't have our people
Oh,
who did
I
that.
know. Yeah.
I'm just saying we didn't do it as much as I see it today. And maybe social media being so prevalent in our lives today is part of the reason why now I see that so much.
Yeah. I posted on my Facebook today. It's kind of obvious that a lot of Gen X needs to take a month and binge Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and Captain Kangaroo, because a lot of you are forgetting the basics that we learned as kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be good to people, be nice to people, be kind to the environment.
Everyone is equal.
Yep.
Everyone can be your friend.
Like, but hey, You know, like, it's why I tell people when people look at me and they say, if y'all just stop talking about racism, it'll go away. Nah, that's how we started.
Yep.
Like, like that's how we started. Is we started with it only being talked about in back
I,
rooms and
I,
alleys and in dark places. No, that shit needs to be right out front. Like
I,
you need to talk about it right up front. But
I
needless to
believe
say,
I believe Dr. King wrote something about that phenomenon,
yeah,
something about true justice, which is peace, which is the presence of justice, versus a negative peace, which is the absence of tension.
and so like I said, the people that needed to get it got it. The
Yeah,
people that didn't, hey, don't be mad. Like it's
and
okay. There are messages that go over my head. It's okay.
and and if you didn't get it, just research it.
Yeah.
It's not going to take up a
If,
lot of your time.
or if it's, or I'll say it even, in even a better way. I'll co-sign that in even a better way. If it angers you that you don't get it, go seek out the information and
Right.
find out what the message was, and so on and so forth. But if you truly don't care what the message is, then good.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Good. It wasn't for you anyway. Like, and that's not a like snide like whatever. That's just how it is. We need to learn this in every aspect, sports, pop culture. We as a world need to learn to start accepting that not everything is made for us.
Yep.
And oh,
Yep.
what's up, Crazy Berry Town? Glad to
Hey,
have
hey.
you in the chat room. Thanks for joining us. Uh, but yeah, say any last words on this before we move into pop culture corner.
Like I said, if like I said, if you understood the assignment, then God bless you.
Yeah,
If you don't know what the message was conveying, what it was trying to say, then you're just, I don't know. If you didn't get it, you're lost in the sauce. I got it. The
But you can
minute, like I
escape.
said, yeah. And my thing is that we speak on these kind of things. We speak on topics such as racism or people saying that it doesn't exist
yeah,
or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
yeah. I can't tell me something that I live doesn't exist. So you can,
Yep.
as an
been there,
old
done
friend,
that.
as an old friend of mine, Javier used
Been
to
there, done
always
that.
say, his
Yeah.
favorite saying was "kick rocks, bitch," and
Yeah.
that would be my message. All
Wait,
right, y'all.
wait a minute. In the past,
Um,
you mean my grandma?
all
Oh
right,
man.
let's
All right.
okay, but
Yeah.
real
But
quick
yeah.
Yeah.
before we get into it, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the one and only the moderator. She helps us to keep it going. See, Jonte, thank you so much for tapping in. You
For sure.
already know what it
Your
is. And
work is
then, of
always
course,
appreciated.
CBT, I saw your stuff today. I saw the interview with you to K. That's what's up.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
All
indeed.
right.
Thank
And
you.
that'll take us
Definitely
into the
appreciate
next
you
segment.
tapping in.
Pop culture corner.
We really got to start doing this kind of
You
shit.
know I only do that to upset you,
Um,
right? It's only because it unnerves you. Like it's just because the looks on your face are
Whatever,
hilarious.
motherfucker.
Oh man! All right, all right. So we moved into pop culture corner now, and I'm going to go on ahead and let Dave take over for a quick minute. He's got some subjects he wanted
All
to bring up.
right.
What's up, sir?
So, continuing the theme of status quo entertainment, not in a bad way. Set photos from the Amazon MGM Studios Master of the Universe live action adaptation have hit the web.
Woohoo!
So we get the first pictures of Nicholas Galitzine. Sorry, I'm struggling with the name. Um, yes, but we see him as Prince Adam, and I gotta say, kid looks jacked for Prince Adam.
Yeah.
He's not in He-Man territory yet, but that's another subject. But yeah, we got pictures of him being arrested by police officers in a white undershirt and the pink overshirt,
Okay.
reminiscent of the classic Eternia wear. Also see some pics of the Power Sword. So Yeah, it's
Okay.
coming along very nicely.
Like I said, I was a huge fan of the Dolph Lundgren one. Let's see if these people can make me believe.
Right. And
Yeah.
let's see. We have remember that is going to be a production with Idris Elba as Man at Arms.
yeah.
Camila Mendez, better known as Veronica on Riverdale, will be Tila.
Okay.
I'm
We have
sorry.
Skeletor and Allison Brie as Evil Lynn. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
I gotta admit that's like both live action adaptations have absolutely spot on
Cast members.
had
Yeah.
cast Evil Lynn perfectly. I
Yeah.
mean, Allison Brie, our beautiful Queen of Darkness now, and back in the '80s, Meg Foster with those hypnotic eyes of hers. Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that's the Gen
I'm,
Z version of Liz Taylor's Violet Eyes.
listen, gentlemen. I'm just in my head real quick. Idris Elba playing Man at Arms. Can
Yep.
you see the shit like with that dress character? Like, uh,
Yeah.
he perfectly went this. This is a perfectly good weapon because it's dress.
yeah. Yeah. I'm Idris
Yeah,
Elba,
I don't
bitch.
need a. I'm Idris Elba. I don't need a helmet. I'm Idris Elba,
Elba,
bitch.
bitch. Actor, writer, producer, DJ. like, do
Yes.
you know? Go on, Dave.
Okay. And I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a big Master of the Universe fans, but I'll be online. I'll watch it opening
Oh yeah.
week.
I'll give it a
Yeah.
shot. I'll give it a shot, just like I'm about to give New World Order a shot. Probably
Yeah.
sometime later on this week. Probably
Yes.
go with my daughter for sure.
And speaking of New World Order, the
Brave New
numbers.
World, y'all.
Brave
Brave
New
Brave New
New
World.
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 Sorry.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
Jesus,
Brave New
man.
World. Yep.
Don't
Speaking of
expect me
Brave
to know
New
I'm old.
World, the uh, the numbers are in, and well, it hasn't been great. Captain America: Brave New World has not been great with the critics. It's only got
Right.
a 50% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but it does have an 80% audience rating. So the fans that are going to see it are liking it.
I'll ask you this, gentlemen.
Yes.
As a movie company, what matters more to you? What the critics say, who went and saw it for free, or the millions you're going to make off of the fans who are loving it, or
Right.
billions you're going to make off the fans?
Right.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know.
And of course, the haters are like, oh, well, that's not so high. Thor Love and Thunder ended at 81%.
Which actually means something good for New World Order because it's only been out a week, or actually it hasn't even been out a week. It's
It's
only
only
been
been
out a
out a couple
weekend.
days. Yep.
Yeah, it's only been out a couple of days, and it's already up at an 80% Rotten Tomato score. So,
Yeah.
like,
And very, very high on the uh, numbers. Let's see. We have with an 87 million opening.
that's
Eh,
not bad.
not fantastic, but not terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. What you shaking your head
Yep.
for, Saint?
Now, just it's nothing. It's nothing. No big deal. No
Okay.
big deal.
But now let's move on to the next story, which is perennial ultimate Gen X movie,
Okay.
The Goonies, is finally getting a sequel.
Truffle shuffle. I do the truffle shuffle. All right, sorry.
Goonies 2 is in the works with Steven Spielberg producing.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
I'm here for it. Like I said, I'll say it like this. I've just learned to lean into it. I'm so sick and
Yeah.
tired of them remaking all of the movies, or remaking or doing sequels to all of the movies that I watched that I loved as a kid, that I'm just
Yeah.
leaning into it now. It's just like, sure, let's do
Yeah.
another one.
I mean,
Like, but the only one that'll piss me off, as I've said it on the show before, if they ever touch my blessed Princess Bride, I'm pulling the
mhm,
Jay and Bob's, the first Jay and Bob movie, Jay and
yeah,
Silent Bob movie. I'm
yeah.
driving to Hollywood to stop a motherfucking movie from
You
getting
are
made.
the
Oh, wait a
one.
minute.
Uh,
Speaking of which, speaking of which, not to interrupt, not to cut, but it just hit me in the head. So you know that Kevin Smith is
Mm.
talking about a possibility of doing a sequel to Dogma.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
that's on
Oh
the
yeah,
books. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
We talked about that. We
They're
talked
just
about that
trying
here
to,
before. Yeah, he is. Yeah, can't wait for it.
yeah.
If
But
you, I will tell you this: if you have not watched an open to close trilogy with Kevin Smith, I would say check out Clerks, the original Clerks, Clerks 2, and Clerks 3. Because beginning to end, I don't think there's going to be any more Clerks movies. He pretty much wrapped it up with 3. But like the way he told that story, that man is an epic story writer. Like I love him to death. So I can't wait to see a Dogma 2 because Dogma is by far his S tier work. Like S tier comedy, great cast. I don't know if he gets everybody to come back.
well, he can't
Fiorentino
get out.
probably can. Yeah, Chris
He can't
Rock.
get, yeah,
He can't get the Metatron because Alan Rickman's gone. Uh, who else? Who else was in
but
that one?
yeah, I think that
George
Kevin Smith,
Carlin.
George
yeah,
Carlin.
Carlin's
Yeah,
gone.
Carlin's gone.
But I think Kevin Smith has said that the potential idea for Dogma 2 is not going to involve, um,
Any of the original characters?
well, no, yeah, any of the original characters, and it's also not going to focus on Christianity
Okay,
or maybe just specifically Catholicism.
gotcha. But you gotta bring back Alanis Morissette as God, man. That was an epic joke. Every time she opens her mouth to talk, someone's head explodes. Like that was epic. And I love Alanis Morissette. Um,
But yeah, getting back to Goonies 2,
yeah.
I mean, the kids are tight with each other.
Mhm.
Ke Huy Quan just got his star on the Walk of Fame, and
Yeah.
everyone was there. Eh, All the Goonies were there to celebrate with their friend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Josh Brolin, Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, they're all
Corey
down.
Feldman's still alive?
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying that like I'm dead serious because like I haven't heard
I
about
know.
Corey Feldman in like almost a
Well,
decade.
he's been spending a lot of time exposing some of the really nasty aspects of Hollywood when it comes to being a child actor, shall we say?
Okay. Fair enough.
Um, yeah.
If there's anybody
So
that would
he's
know, like he had a
yeah
hell
Yep.
of a yeah.
he's been pushing that pretty hard. So he's not exactly a household name he's not blackballed, but he's not on the go-to list
Yeah, I
nowadays.
feel you.
Yeah.
I feel
But let's talk about the girls. Martha Plimpton.
you.
Who was the girl the pretty girl?
I
Can't
forget.
remember her name. Yeah. Um, we're not going to get Mama Fratelli back,
Uh,
but Robert Davi, Joe Pantiola.
okay.
You know,
Yep.
we get all them back, and so we'll
That's
see.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna matter what they do with the script.
Yeah.
Like,
The
because if they're
working-
just rehashing Goonies again, like, nah, give us new
Yeah,
material. Give us new-
I kind of think that that's the starting point.
yeah.
Is that it's going to of the Goonies
Mm.
sort of coming together to do this big adventure. We don't know how far.
Right.
So, but yeah, so it's going to be Amblin Entertainment. Whoops, no, that was the original.
Mm.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a Warner Brothers production. So
There you go, Goonies too.
we will see. Yeah.
Keep an eye out
We'll
for
see.
it. We'll see.
We'll
All
see.
right. Next up, Rings of Power has been renewed for season 3.
Woohoo.
And we're going to get a major time jump forward in there.
Okay.
So let's
Not
see.
big on Rings of Power.
Yeah. So yeah, looks like we're going to get a couple year jump, and we're going to start getting into the middle of the wars of the elves in Sauron. So
Okay. Okay. Well,
yep.
I'll
So-
say like this: I'm happy for Lord of the Rings fans because
Yep.
evidently this series has been epic. So I'm definitely happy for them. Real quick, 2 quick notes from me before Dave goes on to the next one is first and foremost, if you're a fan of Invincible, they have 4 episodes up of season 3 right now. It's epic. I've been watching it as the new episodes release.
Mhm.
And for those of you guys who are fans of Cobra Kai, They dropped the final 5 episodes, and let me just say they were epic without giving any spoilers or anything like that. Go watch it. It's worth the watch. They give you a nice little bow at the end. They kind of tie up every storyline. They don't really leave anything hanging. So I know I'll probably actually, since currently on furlough, I'm probably going to start rewatching Cobra Kai from episode 1 and just watch it all the way, all through all 6 seasons again, because like I said, it's an epic show. But that's going to lead us into this summer with what we talked about earlier when we saw the trailer, which is the Cobra Kai Legends. So I will say right here, I had made a proclamation on here when we last talked about the Cobra Kai Legends, that the scene with Jackie Chan coming to visit Danielson. The only spoiler I will give is I was wrong. That was not in the final scenes, nor was it an extra scene in the final episode of Cobra Kai. So
You
I
were
was
hoping
wrong.
though.
I was hoping, man. I thought that would have been super dope to end Cobra Kai and then have Danielson in the dojo and Jackie Chan walk in. I thought that'd be super dope, but evidently the
Yeah.
showrunners and all them didn't. The only thing that they missed on is they never brought back Hilary Swank. So
Yeah.
it's all good. That's out there, so that's not spoiler like that. We all know she's already said she didn't have any interest in coming back. But according to the showrunners, they did try to get her. They actually had things written up for her, but she decided not to come back. So, but anyway, so
Okay.
let's continue
Yes. And I know last week we talked about Hasbro was going to start pushing a Magic the Gathering live action universe.
on.
Well, we now have confirmations that Hasbro is also inked a deal with Netflix to do a Dungeons and Dragons live action series.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a
Okay.
shot.
Okay, now, executive produced showrunner Sean Levy, as in Stranger Things Sean Levy.
Okay. Okay, I'm hearing you.
Okay,
Okay.
you guys think? Or you
No,
want
he
me
was
to-
saying okay like me, like yeah, all right, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Second great point. It's going to be called, well, it's tentatively called, but it's going to be set in the Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
And this is the main Dungeons and Dragons setting. This is where almost everything, all the video games, or almost all the video games have been set. It's the setting for Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
It was the setting for Honor Among Thieves, the movie from last year, year before. Is the most popular setting,
Okay.
period. And it took that title from Gary Gygax's Greyhawk.
Okay.
Yeah. So about 87 or so, because it got the main push for various reasons. Now, the bad news. Hasbro Entertainment is also going to be involved in the production.
Okay,
Now-
that's yeah.
One would say, well, of course they should be. They own the IP, and normally I would agree with you. However, we are talking about a company that purchased a major movie studio, Canada's E1, to be their in-house movie production studio.
Okay.
Only made one film with E1. That would be Honor Among Thieves.
Okay.
No G.I. Joe, no Transformers, no nothing. Well, actually, no. I think that E1 did the work for the My Little Pony movie, but still,
Yeah.
we are talking about a intellectual property that literally has enough paperback novels to fill a bookshelf in your local public library
Yep.
to choose from, free and clear, to make adaptations for without having to pay royalties.
Yeah. 100%.
And they will not make any of them.
That's
Stuff that we have been bitching about for 40 goddamn years. Okay, there was a time back in the 80s when Dragonlance Chronicles that was hailed as the new Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
This was a decade plus before Wheel of Time, before A Song of Fire and Ice, before any of that stuff.
Wheel of
And
Time.
we've been waiting for these movies for 40 fucking years. And nah, we good. We're gonna make our own thing.
That yeah. Says
Yeah.
some people are allergic to success and money.
And
They truly
C-suite at
are.
Hasbro is, and the reason, and you can see not just with their adaptations, but the fact that they haven't put out a new Transformer or GI Joe's character for 40 fucking years at this point. They just
Oh my goodness.
recycle their characters and put them in new. Oh, you got Funeral Service Optimus Prime? How about Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime? Oh, no, movie series Optimus Prime. No, Masterwork Optimus Prime. No, blah, 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 blah. They're putting out 15 different versions of Optimus Prime instead of continuing on.
Yeah.
They're putting out 15 different versions of Cosmo without creating
Uh,
new characters.
oh my
Same with
goodness.
GI Joe.
They just yeah. It's yeah.
Right? I've,
But
I've got enough. I've got enough Cobra reprints to field my own Cobra army. Okay.
I say all right. Let's move it a little bit forward here.
Okay,
Say
well,
any
let
thoughts
me.
on the Dungeons and Dragons or
Well, I was just recently watching the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and then I was watching the other Dungeons and
the
Dragons
other Dungeons
movie.
and
But
Yeah,
you
well,
watch
the
that.
one the one with Marlon Wayans and Justin Whalen and
Jeremy
Jeremy
Irons
Irons. Yeah,
Dragons?
chewing that scenery like a champ. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did want to add one tidbit from for Pop Culture Corner. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Forrest Whitaker is back once again to return to the role of Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson with the brand new season of The Godfather of Harlem, which starts
Nice.
April 13th,
Nice.
2025. And this season, because of what happened after, the situation with Malcolm X, today we get to finally take on a fictional account of going up against the one and only Frank Lucas. So
Nice. For,
this is really gonna be hot,
for
and
those of
I'm
you who
really
might be
looking
saying,
forward to it.
oh, sorry, not to cut you off, but for those of you who might be saying, who's Frank Lucas? Think American Gangster. Denzel Washington portrayed him.
Yeah.
Amazing performance. I think he won a Grammy or an Oscar for it. But go on, Saint.
No, but I'm looking forward to watching this because man, it's been almost. I think it was close to no, sometime last year, but it seemed like it was forever. But I'm looking forward to it. Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back with this
Nice.
one.
Vinny
I'm not
D.
sure. I'm not sure if I'm not in quite sure if Esposito or Giancarlo Esposito is going to be in this one because I know he played Congressman Adam Powell.
Mm.
Um, Hoping to look for it and looking forward to see it. Just getting into this last. Hopefully, possibly it will be the last season. But if it does go down, then it's going out with a bang, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it'll be in MGM April 13th, 2025.
All right. I'm here
Yes.
for it. I'm here for it. All
All
right.
right. And my last article is state of Colorado is giving a $1 million grant to turn the classic Stanley Hotel into the Stanley Film Center. Yes,
Nice.
one of the hotels used to film The Shining
Yeah.
is going to be turned into a film studies center.
That's awesome. That is
Yep.
super awesome.
Yep.
So congratulations to whoever gets that grant to do that, because the person that designs that, ooh, buddy, they're
Yep.
gonna get to
Well,
have some fun.
they've already been converting it to
They have
a
that.
film stutter. Yeah. They've been having problems doing raising up cash.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, so they but now this is going to give plenty of cash for it. So yeah.
Nice, nice,
Yep.
awesome. All right, so gentlemen, here's how we'll close out Pop Culture Corner. I got
Oh,
one
sorry.
sub. Oh,
And
okay.
last note on that. Okay, the current champ of the horror movie genre, Blumhouse,
Hmm.
has signed on to curate the exhibit space at the Stanley Film Center.
Yeah.
So you're not only going to get, you know, works of horror being exhibited and studied there, you're going to have Blumhouse guide
In the
you
house.
through them.
That's amazing. Like my ex loved horror movies, and Bloomhouse was. She always was like, "Oh, it's a Bloomhouse movie. All right, let's go." Like, definitely, they are top quality, S tier.
They are.
All right. So, according to this article that I just pulled up, the director of the original Constantine is quote has said, "We are closer than ever to an actual sequel to Keanu Reeves' Constantine." I'm here for it. Would that be a movie y'all would be interested in seeing? Especially if it's by the same director.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
Ah,
because yeah, cause and the only reason because we already know, like I said, it is an American version of
yeah.
John Constantine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's no disrespect. The actor that plays Constantine
Matt
in
Ryan.
the yeah Matt Ryan yeah
Hey, I thought he did a
and
great job with it. Like,
He
I
is
thought he made the
fantastic.
character his
yeah
own.
yeah
So,
Yeah, I have a problem with Keanu Reeves as Constantine,
okay.
and it's the stereotyping, unfortunately. Um, I just don't get him. I've seen a bunch of Constantine. I haven't seen how the movie ends. I know how the storyline ends.
I thought it
Uh,
was a well put together movie. Like
yeah,
I don't I but see then again though I have a tendency to have a different perspective than most because I have a tendency to walk into it without knowing all the lore and without
right,
having all of the comic book stuff and all of that and all the extra stuff, and I just take it for what it is. And to
right,
me, the movie was a good movie for what it was. You know, I don't know if it was accurate to comic books or anything like that, but I know that what they gave me, I enjoyed. And then the same thing with Matt Ryan as Constantine. I don't know how comics accurate his character was, but I enjoyed
oh,
his
he is
interpretation
he is,
of the character.
he is the definitive article, you might say,
yeah,
Okay.
he
with
is
with him.
he is to John Constantine what Kevin Conroy is to Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Let's
Fair
put it
enough.
that way.
All right.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So, and if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, pick up Hellblazer, Dangerous Habits,
mhm.
which is a storyline that was adapted to the Keanu Reeves Constantine film, so you can compare and contrast and kind of get an idea of
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me catch my breath here. All right. So that is going to close us out for Pop Culture Corner. We're gonna go ahead and go to our standard commercial block. Then we'll be back right after that with some SmackDown Alley, and we still got video games to talk. You know that state of play was just a couple of days ago. You're checking out the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on First Gen Xers Twitch or on Double KK Double Network YouTube. We appreciate you wherever you're seeing us. Enjoy the promos. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is Now versus Then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. Everybody fall through. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is Now versus Then. This is Now versus Then. This is Now versus Then. This is Now versus Then.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah, come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all out there in TV land or Twitch land or whatever we're doing today? My name is Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. I am the host of the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom, as well as your favorite music show, KD5P. I'm here to tell you about the Live 365 lineup that we have coming up starting on February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. We'll open up Mondays through Fridays with Now versus Then. Deuce, classic episode from the Blog Talk Radio days. We follow that up with an FU Wrestling podcast from Spreaker, starring myself, Double K, and your boy Cole. We follow that up with, again, me, Double K's Classroom, old sports show I used to do 30 minutes from 6:20 to 6:50. We follow that up with West Coast Bias, myself, O'Malley Duel, and Suave, bringing you sports talk from a few years back. Then we have Now versus Then. That's the centerpiece of our day at 9:35 a.m. with a classic episode of Now versus Then. And every Wednesday at 9:35, you'll get a new episode of Now versus Then Deuce from Twitch. At 12:45, you'll hear an episode of KD5P, K-Dolla's Fifth Period Music Class that you can hear right here on Live 365 every Saturday night. You can hear a replay replay of it every Tuesday night at 12, or Tuesday afternoon at 12:05. You can also listen to at 3:20 the Cheap Pop Podcast, followed by NBT Deuce at 5:30. Great episodes. Probably the same episode from the morning. Lip Gloss and Mics has now moved to the 9:05 slot with a new episode of The Classroom on every Friday. And then we close out our night down and dirty, the kings and queens of porn. That'll be every Monday through Friday right here on Live 365. Catch us at live365.com/FirstGenXers, or you can go to the Live 365 app. Look for the First GenXers Radio Network, and that's where you'll find us. All this and more right here on Live 365. Peace.
To say Jaden Daniels has been fun to watch and getting to see him grow, because I think he is going to be a good quarterback. Yes. And so I'm happy that is one of the Monday Night Football games that actually could be a decent game. Yeah. I think I care more about seeing that game, and not just because of him, but I care more about that one than I do the earlier game.
All right, and it's Double K back with you again, host of the Cheap Pop Podcast in the Classroom, also your favorite music show, KD5P, and I'm here to talk to you about the Saturday and Sunday lineup. Last video we did Monday through Friday. This week we're going to do Saturday and Sunday. All these shows will be airing on Saturday and Sunday concurrently till about mid-afternoon, and then we go into two different lineups. On Saturday, Sunday mornings at 12:30 a.m., you get a classic episode of Brick House 2.0. Followed up by Lovely Radio, which is back on the air with First GenXers. And we have Mr. Deacon at 5:15 a.m. Sam Brett Radio now moves up from the 10 a.m. slot to 7:25 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And the 10 o'clock slot now goes to Ms. Optimism, back with us again after a short hiatus. We follow that up with another episode of Lovely Radio at 12:10. And then we get Sam Brett one more time from 2:45. You get about an hour and 15-minute episode on Sundays, and you get a full 2-hour episode on Saturdays. That episode will air right before the live episode of K-Double's 5th period music class on Saturday nights from 5 to 8. Right here live on Live 365, where K-Double brings you some of the hottest tunes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And then we close out Saturday nights with the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast from 8:15 to 11. So on Sundays, you go from Sam Brett to 4:10 The Classroom. 45-minute episode of an old version of The Classroom that we had over on Spreaker. And we'll follow that up with Dirty Talk 101 at 5:30. And we close out with 7:40 The Worldwide Wrestling Podcast, another great edition of me and your boy Cole. And we close out at 10 p.m. with the Sidebar. So thank you for listening or seeing me here on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. And join us on any one of our platforms here at First GenXers. and Double KK Double Network. You got 2KK2network.com, my website. You also have the twitch.tv /First GenXers, and you also have Live 365 where you can find us or you're listening to us here. And we also have for those podcast folks over on Spreaker, a place where you can find the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom on podcast. And you can download it and everything. So that's it from me for this week. This time around, I'll be back again with a new schedule as of May 1st. But until then, y'all enjoy this lineup and stay up. Peace. We are back. You know, sometimes you run down a playlist and you get to the end of it and you remember you forgot something or you skipped a song. Well, we do that here too. We remembered that we wanted to talk to y'all about a certain little clip that's flowing around the intranet, the interweb right now. And that is Will Ferrell and what's the female comic's name?
Anna Gasteyer.
Anna Gasteyer, reviving their role from when they were on Saturday Night Live before, because I believe this was
Clumps.
an old, the Clumps.
This was the 90s.
Yeah, the preacher and his wife that would always be trying to do hip hop songs.
Yeah, no, they're middle school music teachers.
Oh, middle school music teachers. Sorry,
yeah,
my bad.
who convert whatever song is popular at the time. And they convert it into like your standard overblown middle school choir production.
Yes. And so for this particular video, they proceeded to do
coming tonight, not yet, but it's coming tonight on the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special.
Those two doing Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us.
Yes.
I saw a small clip of it on Facebook and laughed for about a good half hour.
Yep.
Like,
it was,
yeah.
They are fantastic. You know, the one clip that there was another clip that was kind of linked to it where, you know, someone giving context into the skit characters.
Yeah.
And they had Anna Gasteyer operatically singing "Best Day of My Life" by Dio. Meanwhile, Will Ferrell is accompanying her on the keyboard and rapping "Dear Shady."
Oh, Stan.
No, sorry, Stan.
Stan, yeah.
In there.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
like
no, it's a perfect send up of, you know those over enthusiastic middle school music folks.
Yeah.
Whether they're teachers or students, and they're just a perfect parody of that. They're a perfect parody of they're perfect parody of the try-hard culture. I want to say, where, you know, they want to show that they're relevant by performing, but the performance is just so horrible and overwrought that no, you really don't get it. Yeah, I just show that I kind of know what I'm talking about when I'm outside my lane by, you know, these two guys backing me up. But
thoughts on it, Saint? You shaking your head, sir?
I'm just listening. I'm just here for the comments. I don't want to get fined.
Or sued. Anyway. And let me say this.
You know, Drake is Canadian. So, you know, Drake filing a lawsuit, that's like Canadian hip hop version of walking down the street, pulling up your shirt and showing your nine.
Uh. Oh, Dave, you're killing me. All right. I want to say
I
this.
think I broke Satan with that one.
You're
We may have
wrong,
some
dude.
people.
You're wrong.
We may have some people who watch this who are Drake fans, and all the more
We
power
love you.
to you. We
Yes.
love you to death. Thank you for tuning in. But let me say this: Drake did exactly the worst thing he could have ever done by
Yeah.
dropping an album 4 days after that Super Bowl performance. And here's why: he's getting back at everybody in this album. Okay, cool. Can't nobody take you seriously because you done been buried so deep, dude. You still clawing your way out of the grave. Like to just put it nicely. Like the best thing Drake. I said this like 2 episodes ago before Kendrick Lamar's performance at all. Said the best thing Drake can do right now is just disappear. For 6 months to a year, don't put out an album, don't put out a song, don't feature on nothing. Just disappear and let the zeitgeist roll through all of that. And get hooked on something new and then drop an album.
I mean,
Because
and-
like, yeah, you were never in it, bro. It's like that scene from
Yeah.
Fast and Furious when Paul Walker comes out. He's like, I almost got you, and Vin Diesel's like, you never had me. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, let it go.
I
Anyway,
let you win.
you know,
exactly.
And also, I've heard that that new Drake album, it's 21 songs, but they're all kind of mid for Drake.
Yeah, for his quality. I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt it if the album was rushed. Because
Yeah,
he thought
exactly.
after everything
You-
that's
you-
happened, he had to put something out. And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
you
and
actually
it-
need to do the
and
exact opposite.
That just kind of that just kind of makes him look desperate. You know, it's like you're in high school, you break up with a great girl, and then to show that you're over her, the very next hour you go and you start hooking up with the easy girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
at
You're doing too
best
much.
it's rushed. At best it's rushed. At worst, it shows that he has been obsessing over Kendrick
Well, okay.
all this time to make 21 songs.
I will say it like this. I have to say this in counterpoint. He looks Kendrick Lamar dropped like 6 Drake tracks in like a matter of 3 days. Like the man had them all loaded. Just okay, let's get in the studio. But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying in the fact that like bro, like you just doing too much. Like I said, just kind of flying under the radar, disappearing for a few months, a year, would have done you some good. Because then everybody would have forgot about this and it would have been, ooh, a new Drake album, cool. Now it's just like, all right, dude. All right, you was done long before. Not to mention, I'm sorry to say it. Like, no offense to Drake. I'm not a musician. I don't know how hard it is to write rhymes. I have no clue. But from my outside, non-knowing ass perspective, it seems to come easy to Kendrick. Maybe that's because he's a poet. He was a poet back in his school days. Like maybe that's because he's a wordsmith naturally. But it seems to come easy to him. So if I was you, if I saw a bully out in the playground and I saw that fighting came easy to him because he was jacking up everybody he was fucking with, everybody that was fighting back, he was jacking them up like Mike Tyson in the early 90s, right? I'm going to leave that bully alone because he's already shown me he has skills that I may not have. And do I want to test myself and go after that bully? Nah, I'm just going to leave him alone and I'm going to let him do his thing. And when he comes and asks for my lunch money, I'm going to gladly pull it out my wallet and hand it to him. Because I don't care if he was a professional boxer. Wasn't nobody trying to get jacked up by Mike Tyson back in the 90s. Wasn't nobody willingly trying to get in that ring. And I'm not going to and Drake, you need to willingly stay out of this ring. Go find another rapper to beef with. He trying to beef with Joe Budden. Joe Budden ain't even hearing him. Like, Joe Budden's like, yeah, go somewhere else with that shit. I guess he mentions Joe Budden in one of his songs on his new CD. Like, dude, just let it go.
Man, Joe Budden haven't been relevant since the Too Fast, Too Furious, man. Get the fuck out of here with Joe Budden.
And I'm right there with you. Why are you talking about Joe Budden? Like, why are you talking about Joe Budden? Like Joe Budden, that's why I agree
Joe
with
Budden got a
His
great, got I mean, he had, I will admit, his podcast, his podcast is all right, but, like,
But
no.
and it should be quality,
Yeah.
not quantity.
Quantity. Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
one of the greatest beefs in music history ever. I'm not even talking about modern personal music. Okay, Ludwig fucking Beethoven
Yeah. And Bach,
had a
wasn't
rival in Vienna. His rival performed a brand new piece that he had composed
it?
to impress the Austrian nobility. Just played it, performed it, world performance. Boom, drops the mic by tossing the music over his shoulder and walking away.
Mm.
Beethoven picks that sheet music up, puts it on his piano, turns it upside down, and plays it upside down perfectly and do an improv with the themes.
Yeah,
And
that's petty level. That's petty level 700 right there.
yeah, and you want the modern context? Okay, one of the first beefs in modern music. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Didn't
Crosby,
know
Stills,
about that one.
Nash and Young made a song called "Southern Man,"
Mm.
getting real about the African experience
Mm.
and trying to raise awareness during, later parts of civil rights
Mm.
in the 60s and 70s. Leonard Skinner responded with just one one block in one of their biggest singles ever, "Sweet
Okay.
Home Alabama."
Okay.
Well, I heard Neil Young sing about you. I heard old Neil put you down. I hope Neil Young will remember. A Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
Damn.
That's it.
Yeah. I'd say yeah. Like like I said, music beefs are interesting because there are a
Yeah,
lot of people who thought that the Ice Cube NWA battle was a back and forth.
yeah. I
Ice
mean,
came out and put it down with no Vaseline, and there was no comeback from that. Like no, no, I'm not saying it's the hardest diss track ever, but there was nothing easy or Dre. No offense, like I love Dre to death. No, there was nothing easy. Dre, Yella, none of them was gonna write that was gonna compare to what Cube had just done to them. Just again,
And then you got to understand too that changed careers.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, as we talk about music beefs and so forth, and I will tell you, like, to me, four of hip hop's greatest.
mm.
You have Tupac and Biggie with "Hit 'Em Up,"
Yeah, that was
and
a hard one.
that was definitely going. And then of course, you have Ether with Jay-Z and Nas, and well, he just talked about him like he was just a bitch. And then let's see. Oh, and then of course, not like us, like that's not a beef. That's just destruction. That is
slaughter.
like
Yeah,
you've been annihilated, with your
Yeah.
career. But
Beyond the bounds of hip hop.
yeah,
A
but see,
minor is now a cultural touchstone for the entire American audience.
yeah. But for me, one of the things though, for me that still with no Vaseline and that still resonates, it's like, and I mean not even with the death of Easy E or things like that, but it's just like you can't come back after this. There was no comeback. There was no other song. There was nothing came after it.
yep,
Period.
yep,
I mean,
Now, as far as I'm concerned, I know that not like us, there are still songs that have come after,
yeah.
you know, that have come after not like us. No, to me, the greatest beef right there with no Vaseline, and I have to stay corrected with it because Nothing came afterwards. Nobody mentioned it. Nothing. It was done. It was over. Case closed. Like when that song came out, and of course, the internet wasn't
It's
even
a
really
thing, yeah.
existing at that time. When that song came out, everybody was like, "Oh shit,
Yep.
what happened?
What happened?
Oh my god, it was over.
Like that
It was
again.
it yeah it no
Yeah.
it no it was over."
There was no coming back. So,
I
all right.
mean,
Any
just
last
from
thoughts,
my,
Dave?
I mean, just from my standpoint, I don't really know rap beat songs very well. I haven't heard Vaseline. I'm aware of it, but I haven't heard it. Haven't really researched the beat that was going on there. The first and only rap beat that I ever heard was traveling down from Oakland down to LA for the convention with our boys, Mr. Jamil, Dirk Suave,
Steve,
and,
Rob, and everybody.
and all the others. I don't know if you were on that trip, Dave.
No, I was. I never.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I never made it on any of those trips.
Right. But the first DMX cassette had just came out.
It's hot,
And
it's
we were
dark and hell
playing
is
that.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they started playing that. And then on comes LL with Ripper Strikes Back.
You know.
And you gotta understand, up to then, all that I knew about LL was I need love.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Nah.
Mama Said Knock You Out was the hardest I'd ever hear him gone.
Oh no, he's
Yeah.
He can go.
And so
he done destroyed
Yeah.
destroyed a couple of people.
You want to
Yeah,
check out
I'm-
a great verse from LL? You check out his verse on 4, 3, 2, 1. Like that verse,
But
he
that
is
was
I
that.
got
like-
one. I got one better than that.
Yeah.
I got one better to the break of dawn because he went on Hammer. He got on Ice,
Damn.
Ice T. Yeah, and he got on Cool Mo D and Ice T. That he did him dirty.
Damn.
He did him real dirty.
All right. So enough about me projecting my views on the cultures that I am tangentially a part of.
We will take from
what-
that.
or Dark
Steve.
Wars 100. What we got next?
What we got is we're taking a right down Jabroni Drive and heading straight down Smackdown Alley. That's right, Smackdown Alley, where the smacks get laid down and we talk WWE, which to some people is big sweaty men in the ring, but to us, it's entertainment. Anyway. All right, so.
You get a stunner, dude.
Again, this week there was a Raw and there was a SmackDown. The two big stories that came out of Raw and SmackDown this particular week started with Raw, which opened up in a very unusual way. Which, by the way, I have to point this moment out. I was just watching Raw a couple hours ago. Showed my daughter the opening sequence with Jay Uso working his way down the stairs. When he gets to the second level, right behind the little kid that he gives that, there's this young lady of the Caucasian persuasion. And she's sitting there. Everybody else is doing the yeets. For y'all don't know, yeet, arm stiff, up, then down. Right? You do that along with the beat. Right? This young lady is sitting over there with her hands like this, going with a big old smile on her face. Now, I'm one to let people yeet how they want to yeet, but I told my daughter, if we are ever at a wrestling event and I see her doing that, she's never coming back to another wrestling event with me again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stiff shoulders ain't that hard. All you got to do is stiff straight out, up and down, up and down. It's not that hard.
Yeah. But what if you're white, you're really getting into the yeet, and it's like, oh crap, my left arm has a cramp while you're mid yeet.
Okay, then that's acceptable. If you get a cramp, that's acceptable. But in
Okay,
general,
but
yeah.
yeah.
We're not. No, we're not.
Yeah. Now, now,
But Jay,
just
go ahead.
a question for me though. In the opening in the title opening, then now forever together.
Yeah.
Who is it that does that voiceover? Is that Trip?
Uh-huh. He did that
Okay,
himself. Yeah.
that's what I thought. Okay, because I'm listening to the first ones and it's like that sounds like Peter Cullen. Damn it!
I know it was somebody different when Vince was there, but
Yeah.
sort of kind of marking the Triple H regime starting.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jim. I thought it was Jim Johnson.
Was it Jim Johnson the first time
I
around?
believe. I thought it was. You
What,
mean
they- 'cause-
then, now, forever?
Yeah.
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 I like. I mean, I like it. I was just, I'm usually really good with voice actors, and it sounded so much like Optimus Prime that I'm like,
You were like, yeah. No.
we need to,
but-
we need to, we need to know who this is, so that, God forbid, Peter Cullen passes away, we have someone who can replace him as Optimus Prime.
Hey, there you go.
So,
I want to say,
yeah.
but all right. So getting back to Raw, we opened with a very interesting sequence as Jay came out and yeeted with the crowd for a good 5-10 minutes, only for Gunther to attack him. And as
From
he's
behind.
attacking him, from behind, and as he's attacking him, Gunther is yelling at him, "Don't do it, Jay! Don't do it, Jay!" Which to anybody that knows how wrestling goes, pretty much told you at that moment, Jay was gonna do it. But he beats him down. He walks away, and as he's walking away, beaten down and broken in the ring, Jey Uso makes the announcement that he chooses Gunther as his opponent at WrestleMania off of his Royal Rumble win. So we have one of the championship matches locked for WrestleMania. The other one will be locked in after Elimination Chamber, which I believe is next week, right?
Yeah.
Next Saturday. After Elimination Chamber for both the men and the women's side. Now the
And
others.
is that gonna be on? Is that gonna be on Peacock?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think they're with Peacock through 2026.
Yeah.
So all the pay-per-views will stay there, but I have read in multiple places that that there's been no full confirmation, but most likely the plan is to bring everything over to Netflix after the Peacock, after the Universal
good.
deal is over in
Yeah.
2026.
Okay.
But pay-per-views as well. So after Elimination Chamber, we'll have who Charlotte chose. We saw that on SmackDown this week. Charlotte chose Tiffy. Which for all of those saying, I hope she doesn't win. I get it. I hope she doesn't win too. I hope this is Charlotte actually coming back to the business to put over some younger talent and put over Tiffy, but we'll see. But Charlotte chose Tiffy, Jay chose Gunther, which means Cody's opponent is going to be one of the 6 men in the Elimination Chamber, and Rhea Ripley's opponent is going to be one of the 6 women in the Elimination Chamber. We'll see. We'll see who it is. We haven't filled out all of the ranks, but Saint, your girl, The Glow, made it in this week on Saturday. To earn her entrance spot,
Absolutely.
along with Alexa Bliss. So I'm happy to see that going down.
But I do want to. But you know what though? I love Naomi. I do. But I'm ready for Bliss.
You think it's gonna be Miss
Alexa
Bliss?
Oh yeah.
I can see
Oh
it.
yeah.
I can see it. She ain't been around for a while, so I can definitely see it. On the men's side, it's kind of a who's who. Because what do we got? We got Cena, we got Punk, Drew McIntyre, and then this week, Damian Priest. I just want to stop to talk about that match for a second. Priest versus Strowman versus Fatu. That was a hell of a match. They beat the holy snot out of each other, and I loved every minute of it. But Damian Priest comes out the winner on that. Kind of figured he was going to come out the winner, only because they don't seem to be pushing Braun right now. And I don't think Jacob's WrestleMania ready. I think he's definitely ready to go in the ring, but I think he needs to have some smaller feuds. Which, by the way, if you watch SmackDown, I actually think they're hinting at a feud between Jacob and Solo.
Yeah.
So
I see that. I saw that last. I saw that last night.
yeah.
So shall we skip to the Elimination Chamber qualifier, or do we want to talk about the other matches first?
Well, we can go straight to the qualifier because that Braun Strowman match was just like that. That was Strowman at his best. I love what they did with Priest.
I'm talking about on Raw.
Wasn't that on Raw or was that on SmackDown?
That was on SmackDown, I think.
Then what was the one on Raw? I'm confused then.
Rey Mysterio
Oh,
versus
Logan Paul.
Vergus Logan Paul.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
And so fuck Logan Paul. I honestly, if WWE, if there's a show, if Monday Night Law comes to Portland
Mhm.
anytime relatively soon, I will buy a ticket so I can be down in the launch pit,
Yeah.
the walk up,
Yeah.
down up in that front row. I will smuggle in a balloon before the show starts. I will go fill that balloon with water
No, Dave. Don't get
and
yourself thrown out
live
of a WWE.
on TV. I will smack Logan Paul in the face with that water balloon. I don't care if it gets me banned from WWE events for
The
my
last
life.
time Dave was able to go to a WWE event.
I
the
will
first
watch
and
it.
last.
Okay, it will be worth it.
Uh,
Okay, that is
Look.
how much I hate Logan Paul, and again, not as a heel way,
yeah.
in a way that he is a horrible human being that must be humiliated and mocked.
I will say this. I will say this. I don't really like Logan Paul that much. I really don't. But I will say this. He has stepped up to the fucking plate.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah.
He's earned his spot.
And look and yeah, and he earned it. And I really
Yeah.
don't get a kick. I don't get a kick out of him.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
I
not my
hope
guy either.
I hope he gets his feelings hurt in the
Elimination
in the
Chamber.
elimination chamber.
Yeah.
I don't think
'Cause-
him versus Cody is a money match. Like, I'll
No.
say it like that. Because remember, whoever wins the Elimination Chamber now advances to face Cody. So
Right.
you got to look at who is the most likely opponent for Cody. Is it Drew? Is it CM Punk? Is it John Cena?
Yeah.
I think
And-
I'll be honest. I think somebody brought up this valid point to me. Maybe it was one of you guys last week. But I think that they may be going for the ultimate swerve. And what I mean by is they're gonna set up Cena with several championship matches throughout this year. But he's not going to win a single one. And he's not going to end up winning his 17th before and break Cena's or break Flair's record. I think he's just hyping up the crowd to want it, so that way Tripp can pull the swerve on him. I think that it's going to end up being Randy Orton who breaks Flair's record. Because remember, Randy's already at 14, and he's still got a few years left ahead of him. So, just my thought.
5.
Yeah,
He's got 5.
yeah.
He just re-signed 5 for 5. So
I-
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Randy Orton having the same level of popularity as a John Cena or Ric Flair.
I don't know because like I would say the RKO out of nowhere, like that got popular
Yeah.
to where like it was a huge part of pop culture. And I'm not saying he's at that level now, but at his peak he was as popular as a Flair, as a Cena, as a Rock. Like he was up there and over.
But has that popularity level been consistent?
Well, Cena's had his good.
Absolutely.
Cena's had his up years and his down years in the same way that
Okay.
Orton has. Like Orton isn't relevant right now because he hasn't wrestled in he's only wrestled like once in the past like 9 months. So of course that means that makes Orton like irrelevant for the time being. But you stick him in a feud or two, and now all of a sudden you got to do it. Especially if he just signed a new 5-year deal. Over the next 5 years, you could build him up to enough storylines that he could win 3 more championships.
Right.
So
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I'm really sorry not to see Rey
Logan
Mysterio
Paul.
lost.
Yeah.
You know, right now, my best hope for Elimination Chamber is that when Logan Paul gets in, everybody who's in the ring at that time just turns around and does a "Welcome to the show, Rook." On
Oh
him.
yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
Well, actually, unfortunately, he's far beyond his welcome to the WWE moment. Like he had that like 2 years ago. Like he's been wrestling in the WWE for 3 years. Like he's no longer he's been on the main roster longer than some of the NXT guys that came up. So like he's considered not a veteran, but he's a part timer. He's like considered what Brock Lesnar is at this point, where he's
Yeah.
respected when he comes in.
He's not
But-
a ham and egger.
Right. So, but needless to say, like I don't know. I like the idea of having Logan Paul. He'll throw his body anywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So having him in a match like the Elimination Chamber benefits the crowd because you're gonna get some ooh ah moments out of a guy like Logan Paul. Not to say you wouldn't have had a Rey Mysterio, but
Right.
and remember, the thing with Logan Paul, outside of the personal hatred for him, is that you're supposed to hate him because he beat your favorite wrestler. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they book him to beat your favorite wrestler. So, but
I know.
but yeah, that
I know.
would
It's all part of the mark. I
Yeah.
know.
and then also at the end of the main event of that show, which was Logan Paul beating Rey Mysterio, also ended with the New Day attacking Rey Mysterio right before they went off air. So I'm actually glad that Triple H went back to this storytelling device that they used a lot during the Attitude Era, where the show would go off of air with somebody randomly coming out. Like I remember a couple of episodes of Raw that just ended with you heard the music and you saw Stone Cold walking down the ramp, and then they cut to black.
Yeah.
And the people that were at the show got a live show of Stone Cold coming into the ring and doing something spectacular, but you didn't get to see it till the next week on Raw, on TV. I love the fact they didn't even address it on SmackDown. That's what was funny, is they didn't even bring it up on SmackDown. So that means they're not going to address it till next week on Raw. So I thought that was a beautiful way to end Raw.
The only problem with that is that because it's all Netflix live, there's no set schedule. They can keep broadcasting as long as they want to, and they go over the time limit a lot. So not that it's edging like that just isn't as effective in the day of streaming. Where
I wouldn't say like you got to have a
what's going on,
cliffhanger.
damn it? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
I
I
know
get
it's hard. It's hard.
Right,
to
right.
do.
I get that people are upset because they're like, well, you can run for as long as you run, so it makes it. I'm not saying you're saying it, but I'm saying I've seen these comments. People are like, you can run for as long as you can run as you want to, so why did you cut it off? It doesn't mean that you don't cut the show short or cut it during its because remember, out of all 5 or 6 episodes that have aired since the beginning of the year, most have ended around the 2:30, 2:40 mark. That's their normal time of ending. They've only ran like 1 episode or maybe 2 to actually 3 hours. So their standard time is to end at about 2:40. So they cut it at the normal time. So I get what people are saying, that they could have just kept telling the story and kept with that beat down and led whatever it led to. But to me, it's more interesting that they cut it and we don't find out till next week.
It is more interesting, right? I will give you that. And that's something that the cliffhanger is something I've always had kind of a problem with. It's like, Voltron with the blazing sword. There's a comedy dub that I've seen, where, they're at the point where they're facing off against the road beast, and I think it's Lance said, Keith, why don't we just open with the blazing sword? It's never failed us before. There's no reason why we think it should now.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're trying to pad this fight out.
Like most anime fights.
And so I get that. It makes for a better, more dramatic story. And I have to disengage the logical analysis and get more into the metaphor thinking. So, it, like I said, I hate seeing Rey Mysterio down like that, especially to Punk. But good promo cuts, I thought.
Yeah, they had some good promo.
Dom Mysterio, what was Dom doing besides trying
to... Like, I'll put it to you like this. I'm starting to turn the corner on Dirty Dom, and it's sad. I go through this a lot with some heels. I did it with The Miz. I hated The Miz. I bitched about him every opportunity that I got when he first made the main roster and first started wrestling. Every title he got, I was like, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. And then, like I've mentioned before on the show, the WrestleMania Hate Me Now intro against John Cena is where I started turning on The Miz, meaning I started to actually like him. Like, the stuff that he was saying was true in his promos, and he was delivering it with a lot of emotion. And I just really started to get to like the guy. That's where I'm going with Dom. Like at first, I was just like, dude, you don't even look like a young Eddie Guerrero. You look like Eddie Guerrero if you got him off a Wish. And I just wasn't feeling it. But
Yeah, he
since the turn to live
Damn.
and all of that, like I've started to like Dom. Like and Dirty Dom is starting to make like I can't wait for him to start breaking out on his own away from the Judgment Day because like
yeah.
I'm starting to actually like the character.
I mean, the thing though is that I mean, Eddie Guerrero was a satirical character,
Yeah,
but he was a satirical character where you got it, and you know he had stuff to back it up.
yeah,
Dominic Mysterio is a satire of a satire, and at some point that just gets really bad.
He
Well,
does.
well, here's the
Yeah,
thing with it, and here's where I say I'm turning on him, and I hope that they go in this direction with him. At this point, he has been not necessarily outly, but overtly being a knockoff Eddie Guerrero. I
right.
think at some point he has to come into his own character, to who Dom Mysterio is. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is that moment when he stops being this knockoff Eddie Guerrero and starts being whoever Dom Mysterio is. You know, and when he does that, I will be behind him 100%. But I'm watching him grow, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. But go on, continue.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. You
Yeah,
know, it's
like Solo Sokoa, same thing. For those of you who don't know what you're watching with Solo Sokoa, by the time this storyline is done with Solo, if they're going where I think they're going, by the time they get to the end of this storyline with Solo, Solo's going to be a face, and Solo's going to rejoin the OG bloodline against the
mm,
Jacob Fatu led bloodline. Because I think that they're not going to bring Zilla in with the OG bloodline. I think they're going to bring Zilla in with. For those of you who don't know, Zilla is like they're like 6'9" brother of
yeah,
Tonga and Tongaloa. Yeah, Zilla Fatu. Like yeah, he's cousin to Jacob. Like I think that Jacob's going to take over the new bloodline, and I think that Solo's going to end up being out, and he's going to end up being a good guy now. Like they're going to do the slow turn, just like they just did with Roman over the last year. They're going to do the same thing with Solo, and then they're going to make him a good line. Good, and maybe next year's Survivor Series we get the OG bloodline with Solo Sikoa taking on Jacob Fatu, Tamatanga, Tongaloa, Zilla Fatu, and probably some other member of the bloodline, because there's like 8,000 members of the Anawai family is what y'all don't understand. Like every one of them, Afa, Sika, Rikishi, all of them had like 9 kids. So like and like almost all of them wrestle. So like yeah, there's still going to be more bloodline members coming, whether you love or hate the bloodline storyline. Sorry to tell
oh,
you.
and
True that.
yeah,
Because here's the difference between the new bloodline is that I believe that Solo is Samoan. And for those of you who don't know, the Samoan and the Tongans are actually two different portions of the Samoan race, of the
yeah,
Samoan thing. So if you do what I'm talking about, then you have the Tongans versus the Samoans, because Jimmy, Roman, Solo, they're all Samoan, the Anawai family clan. But Jacob, Tongaloa, and Zilla would all be Tongan. So like just keep that in mind when you're watching this storyline play out. I think that may be where we're heading.
yeah. And let's also talk about the women's side on Raw, since
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happened there too.
Yeah. You had Rhea Ripley offer a match, championship match to Io Sky, which is awesome.
Yep,
I think she's going to have
yep,
it this Monday. You
yep.
got Alexa Bliss going over. Who was it?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
That damn thing.
Um,
I'm going to just call
yeah,
her Miss Bliss from now
yeah.
on.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the elimination chamber qualifying match for the women's with Bailey versus
Oh,
Lyra
Bailey,
Valkyria.
my girl. Whoo!
Uh-huh.
Whoo!
Good match.
My Raven Queen.
Yes.
But
Uh,
yes, but Bailey pulls it out in the end.
yep. And shout out to Bailey, who was a part of the All-Star game, NBA All-Star game weekend festivities. Since she's from the Bay, she came down and took part in it this weekend. So shout out to her. But yeah, she's going to be in elimination again. Notice the women's elimination chamber: Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bailey. Who else? Alexa Bliss. It's a who's who.
Yep.
You know.
And then a non-title tag team match between Judgment Day and Damage Control.
Yeah, between Liv and Raquel taking on Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Yeah. Neither one of them are champions though. The women's tag team champions are Bianca Belair and Naomi.
You're right.
Yeah. But they did have a tag team match to close that show with the Creed brothers taking on the War Raiders, and that was one hell of a match.
Yeah, that was awesome as well.
Yeah, liking me the War Raiders, liking the run that they're on. Eric and Ivar reminds me of their run in NXT.
Yeah, except I am insanely impressed with Ivar's agility.
Yeah,
I mean, just the somersaults he's doing in air.
That man, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. See, speaking of Dirty Dom, Dirty Dom trying to take out AJ Styles. And
that's
Styles,
silly wabbit.
Yep. Styles took out Carlito.
Yeah.
Before turning on Dom. So yeah.
I'm telling you now, man, like AJ Styles, they got to figure out what they're going to do with him because they just released the rest of the OC, all of them except for Mia Yim. So he has no tag team backup anymore in Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Here's a quick throwback for y'all. Do y'all remember when Luke Gallows used to be with the short blonde dude and they were Festus and Ezekiel? And Luke Gallows used to play Festus. And he would be, and it was hella funny. He would just be like, the whole time until he got to the ring. And they would just walk him to the ring. They put him in the ring. And as soon as the bell rung, all of a sudden he turned into a monster. And that was his whole gimmick. And then as soon as the bell rung again, he'd be like, just staring off into space. It was one of the most random gimmicks. But the reason why I brought it up is because Luke Gallows was one of those dudes that got it so over that everybody loved it. Like he just took what was a stupid gimmick, a la Damian Sandow and the Miz and the Miz's stunt double gimmick.
Yeah.
That gimmick was shit, but Sandow made it work and got it over and was popular for it. I think it was the same thing with this one. Like, just Luke Gallows is a beast. But I just wanted to say that. But yeah, they were amongst the ones that were released this last week, like with Elektra Lopez. Damian Sandow. Yep. He's still wrestling. He's just not wrestling with the WWE anymore. And he's like named Aaron. I forgot what his last name was. But all right.
So, and then tomorrow night on Raw, we got the last spot qualifying match.
Yeah, it's the men's last qualifying match,
which is going to be Rollins versus Finn Balor.
Yep, Finn Balor. He needs to bring back the Demon just for one more shot. I need me some Demon. Finn Balor.
Penta versus Pete Dunne.
That should always be good. Pete Dunne is a beast. Like, for those of you who complain about not real wrestling, watch him.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Yep. So.
And then AJ Styles versus Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom about to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So last
someone's about to get schooled, hopefully. Yeah.
The one thing I want to address is something I've seen in the IWC, and I just want to address it before we move on to video game reviews. Look, I am so sick and tired of people complaining about there being promos and in-ring segments during a wrestling show. Look, if you want to see what I would call chain wrestling, which is just match after match after match after match after match, here's some suggestions for you. Go to your local high school. Go check out one of their wrestling meets. Go to your local college. Go check out them in their, a couple of years ago, one of my best friends, He's a real wrestling fan. My boy watches literally on YouTube the Penn State wrestling like channel and watches their matches and all of that. Actually just talked to me the other day and told me he wants to take me out to Penn State so we can go check out their facilities out there just for the hell of it. The man's a real wrestling fan. If you call yourself a real wrestling fan, understand professional wrestling is a performance art, period. So don't come and watch the performance art and then bitch about it's not real wrestling. Go watch the Olympics. Go watch your fucking local college. Like, that's real wrestling. That's what real wrestling is. This is a performance art. There are wrestling moves that are used throughout the match, yes, but it is a performance art because they know who's going to win. So at the end of the day, you'll never get real wrestling out of a professional wrestling match because it's performance art. It's not meant to be exactly like real wrestling. It's meant to be a performance. It's meant to entertain, not just with the moves that go on in the ring. Yes, the wrestling is the most important part of it, but the focus shouldn't have to be solely on what goes on in between the ropes. And if you're a fan of only that, again, I recommend high school, college, Olympics. That should be your home of where you watch wrestling, and stop going on the internet and bitching about things like WWE, AEW, so on and so forth. Okay, just Kevin's little last bit of advice there for these freaks on the internet that love to talk about real wrestling. Anyway,
Yeah, tangentially, both of you two have you both been to live viewings of Rocky Horror before?
Yes, multiple times. Went
So,
for like
yeah,
9
okay.
months straight.
Once or twice.
Yeah. So for those of you who've never been to a local Rocky Horror show showing, there is a stage cast that performs during it. There's a whole wind up and all these cues and everything. So one time I went to a performance. Stage cast gets out, starts doing their introductions and everything like that. And this lady shouts out from the crowd, "Sit down, we're trying to watch this film."
Okay.
Riff Raff, who's usually the leader of the theater troupe, stops, turns to the crowd, and says, "Bitch, we are the show."
You know, exactly. Just sit back and enjoy.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Yep.
Karen.
So-
Anyway, all right. So we're gonna let that take us out of SmackDown Alley. We're gonna make a left on Jabroni Drive, make our way over to the video game corner. Video games. Yeah. All right.
I think I got something out the. I think I got something out the rifters.
Go
So,
for it.
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is an adaptation coming up, being produced by. Now I just heard about it, but the one and only Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and this is supposed to be an adaptation of the game of It Takes Two. Now, for those that know about
Army of Two or
no. It's a
Okay.
game called It Takes Two. It's about a married couple. They're turned into dolls by their kid, and they have to try to bring their marriage back together. But they go through a whole bunch of levels and so forth. And it's a game that has to be played by two people. You can't. There's just nothing next to impossible with one player. So it is a two-player game. It's a game like A Way Out, and it's also a game that's coming up called Split Fiction. So that's the big thing that's going on in terms of gaming news for that. But yeah, I'm gonna actually try to see if how this is actually gonna work.
Yeah.
How it's
Well, I mean,
actually
it's definitely going to be a rom-com since the two have to work together. So healing the family, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, and all that other.
I'm not putting that down, but I mean it's it's pretty clear what the storyline is going to be based off of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. And
They could surprise me by having them go through all those trials together, working together, and then finally at the end, yeah, we do need to divorce.
yeah.
It ain't working. No,
That would be some fuck. That would be some fuckery,
That
bro.
would be
oh,
a
man.
swerve and a half.
All right.
I'll tell you.
All right. So, Dave, do you have any video game news for us?
Yes, I do. So, uh, first off, Neverwinter Nights 2, which was one of the early online, we're talking CompuServe AOL online Dungeons and Dragons game.
Mm.
But developer Beamdog says that it has been freed from rights hell and is going to get an imminent enhanced edition release.
Nice.
But Beamdog says that they're not the ones that's going to be doing it.
That are going to be doing
But
well.
that's, yeah.
That may be a good thing.
We'll see. Beamdog usually does pretty good crossovers and enhanced editions for older games.
Okay.
Sorry. The original developers of Neverwinter Night were the now defunct SSI, Strategic Software Incorporated. But Beamdog, nope, we're not going to be doing the what is it? We're not going to be doing the remaster remix. Okay. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
All right. So Obsidian's new fantasy RPG, Avowed, just hit Game Pass. That is currently available on Xbox Game Pass for free to try before you buy. So it is set in the Pillars of Heaven fantasy universe.
Okay.
And the general consensus about it is, yeah, it's a game.
Damn.
So there's a lot of issues from the beginning concept where, just like with the Elder Scrolls series, you are some special snowflake. You're the Dragonborn or the whatever, etc., etc.
Gotta be the snowflake.
Yeah, but you are the chosen one. Well, in Pillars of Heaven, if you have been chosen by the gods, you get some physical deformity on your face.
Okay.
Right.
So this can range from like leaves sprouting off of your face for a poison ivy effect
Okay.
to looking like an face full of calluses. Like think like Ben Grimm thing, except that they're all calluses.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
So so that's
Man, I gotta
kind of,
eat soon, bro.
Yeah.
The
So yeah,
fuck?
that's turning some players kind of off on that. I mean, you're not. It's not like you're controlling it with in view, but it's kind of always there.
That's just
But
nasty.
in addition, the general plot line to Avowed is that in Pillars of Heaven, one of the factions, the Empire, is an expansionistic force.
Mhm.
And Avowed is set on an imperial colony.
Okay.
Okay, I did
character-
see something about that.
Yeah, your character is basically sent from the Empire as a middle manager to make sure things are running smoothly, that everyone is extracting resources as much as they can.
Mhm.
There's no local rebellions. And you were able to work in that in many ways.
Mhm.
You can try to be the benevolent governor. You can try to be uh, the Beast Raban in Dune and rule through fear and iron leadership. You have factions of your empire that are under your command that absolutely hate the locals and think they need to beat some sense into them.
Okay.
You've got religious expansionism. You've got a lot of iffy topics, shall we say. Um, and there's no real clear cut moral path
Yeah.
either. There's no, something that you can do that you think is good can complicate something else and make something else much worse later on in the game.
Right.
So, yeah,
Sounds like a fun ride.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
really, it. I don't particularly want to play, the Imperial Administrator. I don't necessarily want to play the camp director, shall we say?
Uh, it's,
Um, yeah.
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 No,
Apparently you can create re-education camps for the natives.
wow, that's insane. Oh, living the dream, huh? Living the dream. Uh,
Anyway,
That's crazy.
all right. So I'll move us from that on over to the PlayStation State of Play presentation, which took place on February 12th, 2025, where they announced a bunch of new shit. Uh, Monster Hunter Wilds showed some clips. I know Saint was gigging on this. Side scroller Shinobi Art of Vengeance. No, Saint wasn't
Absolutely.
feeling that. Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
what
what the
I'm saying.
fuck, bro?
Uh,
Shinobi, man. That's dude.
yep.
from the
That's
from the yeah, hey man, I was excited for it. So Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, that game looks pretty badass.
yeah.
Even the graphics for the Digimon story Time Stranger look all right. Let's see. Lost Soul Aside. I'm assuming this is from the Soul. What are the Souls?
Possibly
Yeah,
the Soul series.
yeah, the Soul series. Then you also had Like a Dragon. It's yeah, franchise looks like Pirate
Yeah.
Yakuza, huh?
Yeah. The
Pirate
Pirate
Yakuza,
Yakuza. Yeah. The
Pirate
Pirate
Yakuza
Yakuza.
in the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, and then
Yeah.
we also had Saint told us about this last week, um, or did he? But WWE's Paul Heyman appeared and detailed the island, a new social hub world coming to 2K25 in March. Think a la the hub in NBA 2K25, where you can kind of run around and talk and hang out and play with other people. It'll probably be where me and Saint are meeting up for me to whip his ass a bunch of times in 2K25.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dream on,
that's a
Bullwinkle. Dream
that's
on.
a throwdown.
Yeah.
It
Dream on,
says
Bullwinkle.
the island will let up to 50 players join together for wrestling, shopping, for customization items, and more. And
Oh, so
then
you're going to be able to humiliate him in front of an audience.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Well, whenever we go head up, we broadcast it on Twitch. So,
Yeah.
the record speaks
But
for itself.
yeah, like I am not one to.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be talking smack shit about that. I mean, I'm not even going to get into a fighting game with either of you two.
Borderlands 4 we saw some clips from that.
Yeah,
and,
I was with that.
yeah.
I was with that. Yeah.
And then Directive 8020 is the next entry in Supermassive Games Dark Pictures franchise.
Okay.
Talk
let
to us
me
about it.
let me get it. Okay, so of course we're talking about Natasha Lynch, of course, of Marvel Studios or of Captain Marvel. She also played 007 in the very last James Bond movie. I'm looking forward to this because I have played all of the Dark Pictures anthology series, the last four, which was Man of Medan, Little Hope, the Ashes, and of course the Devil in Me.
Yeah.
These are some really good good games and so forth. Just wondering who the curator is going to be this time, but
Right on.
I'm really looking forward to playing that
So many
because
games I
yeah.
missed. So many games I missed. I tell you. All right, and then next up, for those FNAF fans, but I'm pretty sure the hardcore fans already knew this was coming. They showed another trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's: The Secret of the Mimic. It's supposed to launch June 13th this year. So it looks pretty interesting. My daughter's a huge FNAF fan, so ironically, ironically, when she was 9 years old, the shit scared her so bad she didn't sleep for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
But now that she's 16, she goes to sleep watching YouTube videos about FNAF. Go figure. All right, so what else do we got here? We got a game
So
called
don't forget about.
What's up?
Oh, I was gonna mention Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Is it here? No, there's only. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Okay. So we were looking at the Midnight Walk. It's an indie studio. Moonwood presented new trailer for the Midnight Walk. It's a cozy horror game made entirely with claymation.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny. Some Jack Skellington shit. Darwin's Paradox is a platformer from Konami starring Octopus trying to escape a food processing plant. We will literally play games about anything nowadays, won't we? An octopus trying to escape a food processing plant. Really? Really? But I bet you 1 million people will download it, and at least twice that will play it. Warriors Abyss. It was a shadow drop of a presentation. Tecmo, Koei Tecmo, announced its roguelite spin on its Warriors action franchise with Warriors Abyss. I don't understand what that means. Maybe you guys do.
So Warriors, I believe they're talking Dynasty Warriors style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah. All right. And then Onimusha 2 and Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Now, let's get to Onimusha because that right there, that is a hell of a franchise. If they're I guess they're doing the remaster for Onimusha 2. I'm looking forward to that because that is actually my favorite one of the Onimusha games. I love Onimusha Warlords. 2 is cool. The one with the third one, eventually, maybe they'll bring that back. Is the one with Jean Reno.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah, because the new one is coming up too, though. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Some good Japanese horror, man, with some swords, some monsters, and a
Never
lot of
really got a chance to
bloodiness.
play it. I'm a sports guy when it comes to games, you know that. So never really got to play it, but should check it out for sure. And now we get to the game that Saint wanted to get to, which was Metal Gear Solid Delta,
Yeah.
which was debuted. After erroneously appearing on the PlayStation Store earlier this week, a trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta officially debuted during the State of Play. Did you get to check it out, Saint? I know
Yes,
you're a
I
huge
did.
fan. And what'd you
Yes,
think?
I did. Oh, it's excellent. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a few changes with it and so forth, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one is gonna go.
Okay. Okay. We also saw, just continuing down the list, Hell Is Us. This due out September 4th from Nacon and Rogue
Yeah, I saw
Factor.
that.
Yeah. Lies of P Overture. I never played the original. I remember the game, but I never played it. It's going to be a downloadable expansion for the action RPG Lies of P. Overture was
Yeah.
next up. The trailer showed Pinocchio facing off against a mysterious woman, and hordes of master monsters. Okay. Dreams of Another. Looks like a random ass game. Reminds me of what was the name of that game? Echo. That came out for the Sega Genesis. That was just the dolphin swimming around.
Yep.
Y'all remember that game? Like I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was a hard game, but the purpose of the game never. right off my head. Days Gone remastered. They're putting out a new version of the Days Gone game from the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 5 version will only be $10. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, really? Because Days Gone, listen, Days Gone is Resident Evil with bikers.
With bikers, okay,
Hmm.
okay. All right, we're almost at the end of the list here. We got, what else was it? Tides of Annihilation from Eclipse Glow Games. It's an action game set in an alternate version of London where a monstrous dimension has merged with familiar locales and landmarks. All right,
Okay.
sounds fine. Sounds fine. Then we got Metal Eden from Recon Games or Recon Games. Revealed Metal Eden, an adrenaline rush sci-fi first-person shooter with the trailer showing off some of the high-speed moves players will be able to make
Okay.
while running
I
through
will
the world.
be I will be right back. So
Okay,
hang on.
sure. Uh, Lastly, next up we got Mind's Eye, third-person action game from Build a Rocket Boy and director Leslie Benitez. Looks like another like Alan Wake
Oh,
type movie
that's right.
or show or
Okay,
game.
so yeah, this one, Leslie Benines, of course, is one of the creators of the original GTA 3.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and this one is an open world, so yeah, I'm definitely looking at that and trying to see how
Play out.
that's gonna pan
Yeah.
out. And
Uh,
considering that GTA 6 will be out this year too, so I think
Finally,
that's gonna be the one. Yeah,
almost
I
half a
think that's
decade.
finally gonna be, yeah,
Shit. But awesome. All right. So from the same people, basically, kind of similar to
yeah.
GTA, that open world type. Okay, and the last one is a game called Soros um,
I
by
saw that.
Housemark. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Soros.
saw that.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I saw that trailer too.
Is it
Um, yeah, that looks like
be pretty dope?
it's gonna be pretty fucking
It
pretty
says the game
fucking
centers around a man played
yeah.
by Raul Coley, who is waging an endless war against a massive being called Magnus. Soros is scheduled to arrive in 2026. So that takes us through the full state of play and all the reveals and everything. I would say like the WWE 2K25 announcement was the one that piques my interest the most because being able to have
Of
an area
course.
where you can kind of walk around and just like wrestle people like that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. So
I'm looking forward to this because the island of relevancy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we
I'm
already
pretty
know
sure.
what time
Well,
it is.
this whole game at this point is pretty much revolved around Roman Reigns in the bloodline. Well, we know the story, the showcases revolved around the bloodline storyline, but I'm saying they even geared everything else around the game around Roman. There, so like yeah, I think the island is a reference to the island of relevancy, and that would be why there's a big ass golden Roman Reigns statue over his symbol in the center of the thing there that you can probably
Yeah.
go into and wrestle Roman.
Yeah,
But
well, it'll be out in the next few weeks.
I thought it was due out around WrestleMania time, so that'll be early April,
No,
right?
that comes out March. That's in the early March.
Oh,
That comes
oh.
out like in the next couple of weeks.
See, I've
Looking
always thought
forward
it
to
should be
that.
simulcast. It should be simultaneously released with WrestleMania, with day
Yep.
one of WrestleMania, or the Friday before WrestleMania when they do Hall of Fame, release it that night, and then that way. But hey, a couple weeks is even better. Um, but yeah, so that's all I got for the state of play. You guys got anything else for us?
I don't have anything for state of play, but Saint,
No, I don't think I have anything this coming week. I know next week maybe.
okay.
Okay, bet.
So let me then just wrap up our video game segment with Saint. You are our fighting game champion with not just wrestling, but boxing, etc., etc.
Yeah.
What's the fastest you ever knocked out Iron Mike Tyson in Punch Out? From opening bell to
Maybe once and that was lucky. And
I'm not talking
that
how
was
many times
No, he,
that
he's saying how long
no,
did it
that
take
was
you to do it?
how fast,
oh,
how fast from the opening bell of that match to the final decision.
it went all three rounds, probably around a good 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Okay, because somebody has taken down Iron Mike Tyson in Punch Out in under 2 minutes for the first time.
Wow, that's yeah.
Yep,
It's possible. I
yep.
could believe it. I
Like
could
I s-
believe it.
like I said,
Did it by, yeah.
I
Go
said
ahead.
like I told Dave earlier, I did it a few times. Once I found him, once I figured out his pattern, like after that, it was like, yeah, okay.
Yep,
But in general, like I never did it in anything under like 5-10 minutes.
yep.
Like it was
One
never in anything under 5-10 minutes.
1 minute 59 seconds, and we have the video for it. And he did it through TKO.
Knocked him down 3 times in less than 2 minutes.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's a dude that practiced that. Like that was like the 532nd,795th time he had played that exact
Took
same
him a
fight.
couple. Took him a couple years, but yeah,
But
he
that's pretty
got
dope.
it down.
Congratulations to him. Shout out to him. Do you have a name? Did they give a name?
Let's see. This is coming from Ars Technica. I'll have the video up on our website later.
Okay.
Uh, okay, popular speedrunner and speedrun historian, Summoning Salt.
Summoning Salt. So yeah,
Yep.
congratulations.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to you.
And in fact, okay, so it was a 1 minute 59.97 second knockout
Wow.
after what he says was 75,000 attempts over nearly 5 years.
Good Lord.
Yep.
75,000 attempts. That's insane.
Yep.
That's insane. But hey, he
That's
got
too
it.
much.
He did it.
I mean, you dedicated to your craft, but god damn,
Yeah.
man, that's 75, man. Fuck that.
All right, so we'll let
Yep.
that lovely little note wrap us up there. And we will finish off with the segment we always do, which is Where Can I Find You Next? The segment where Rune Scryer and Saint and myself tell you where you can find us after the Cheap Pop podcast. Saint, since you seem the most disappointed, you want to start us off?
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are going to actually do an episode of Now versus Then, but in this case, we will be joined by, and the debut is real, the one and only Poetic Beats will he'll be finally making his debut and so forth. But the usual, we'll be probably doing a couple of game streams tomorrow, and then Tuesday, of course, is the usual gang of suspects. So yeah, we're gonna be
Hanging out.
we're gonna be doing it right. So yeah.
Saint, Tuesday night, Now versus Then, and
Yeah,
also
10
tonight.
yeah,
Check it
oh,
out.
and tonight, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific.
There you go. And Dave, where can we find you next, sir?
I will be back on tonight on the night shift. Did a
The night
stream
shift.
of opening 2 hours of Horizon Zero Dawn. Got started up on the meat of the initial quest. Back worked out fine last night, so I may go longer than 2 hours tonight. But I will be back on with Marvel Spider-Man.
Yay,
So-
Spider-Man.
Yep. For someone who has a very staunch code versus killing, Spidey tosses a lot of people right off, like the 30th
Building.
story. Yeah. And got his throat, kicks, punches.
Oh yeah.
No, hey, safety nets, nope, Oh, nope. Coach
Bye
Mark.
bye.
Yeah,
Have a nice trip.
exactly.
See you next fall. Anyway. Oh man, 100%
We'll be
true.
getting into that.
All
So
right. All right. So then, lastly, with me, where can you find me next? Well, you can find me in about an hour and a half right here on Twitch and on YouTube, as we're going to be bringing you First Gen Xers presents The Classroom with myself and O'Malley. We're going to be talking that NBA All-Star game, that pathetic ass excuse for a dunk contest. No offense, Mac McClung, it's not your fault. You're an excellent dunker. And everything else that surrounded NBA All-Star Weekend, as well as a little bit of NFL draft and some mock drafts from ESPN as well. So join us at 6:15 p.m. Pacific time, 9:15 Eastern, right here, and we'll be talking to good sports.
really quick, Dark Lord. Speaking of All-Star games, check out the NHL All-Star game.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be
And
talking about that too.
And some of the fights that are breaking out.
Oh no, they debuted a new format this year that I actually quite like. It's called the Four Nations tournament.
Yeah.
And this year was USA, Canada, Sweden, and I forgot who the other one was that competed. And the USA beat Canada and beat on Canada. There were 5 fights in the first 90 seconds of the game.
Yep.
So
And, But just now compare that to what the NFL's All-Star weekend has become.
Well, the problem with the NFL and why they went the way they went is that people were playing too hard on Pro Bowl weekend, because if people were playing soft, the fans complained because people were playing soft. But if they play too hard, people were starting to get hurt out there, and it was costing teams seasons. So they went to this non-contact flag football skills competition that is the Pro Bowl weekend. I just always said Pro Bowl, if you're going to do that, you should have moved it to the same weekend of the Super Bowl and make it like a traveling circus.
Yep.
Every city that the Super Bowl is in, the Pro Bowl is in, and you just have it like a travel, just like WWE does with WrestleMania. If you ever go to WrestleMania, you know that WrestleMania is more than just the 2 days of the show. WrestleMania is an entire week of events leading up to the actual Saturday and Sunday show. They could do the same thing with the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Make it a whole week of events and have the skills competition and all that taking place through that. Bam. But you'll hear me talk more about that on the classroom. But that's going to close it out for us today, guys. Any last words? Nope.
Nothing. Just they not
haven't-
like us.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will be seeing it this week. So Captain America.
Captain America. Yep.
Yeah. Brave New World.
Yep.
So
I
just hate going on opening weekend.
Yeah, we love all you out there that watch us and support us. Thank you. Stay safe, survive, keep going, keep pushing through.
For sure. For all that joined us, we thank you. We love you. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Go ahead.